Autobots, roll out!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers TLK-15 Caliber Optimus Prime, and I love this toy. This was a Japanese-only figure that takes the original AOE, or Age of Extinction leader mode, and upgrades it with some mold changes that are going to give it more articulation, aesthetic options, and even on-screen accuracy. It's gotten better paint. It's got more chrome, it's got additional weapons and storage options, and it's even got more playability by making those weapons compatible with other figures. I absolutely adore this figure. If you're going to have one of the leader mold or one of the leader class molds of this figure, in my opinion, this is the one to have. This figure was released in July of 2017. Again, this was a Japanese-only release. So I'm not sure what the original retail price of this figure was. However, I was able to get this guy online very recently, brand new in the box, for about $60. So not bad at all, considering the leader one was 40 to 45 here in the States. To get this Japanese upgrade, I think 60 was not bad. So as you can see here in truck mode, he's actually not going to look very different from the original offering that we saw here in the States for Age of Extinction. He measures approximately 10 inches in length. He's about 4 to 4.5 inches tall, depending on if you want to go to the top of the sleeper or the top of the smokestack. So there you go. Let me back it up a little bit so you can see it better. And, you know, he rolls just fine, and just on first glance, he doesn't look much different from the one we're used to seeing. There are some few changes, like, for example, if you flip it down to the bottom, you're going to see he's got more weapons there, where if we look at the original, the first release that we got here in the States, you can see you only had the one sword before. Now we can actually store a sword and an axe down here at the bottom. We'll keep this guy here for comparison so you can see the differences. Not a whole lot difference here, other than some paint differences. The windows are now black, where before we had those clear orangey yellow ones. The wheels originally were black. I remember. No, they were painted this, you know, metallic, silvery-ish gray. And now we've got actual chrome wheels, which look fantastic. I think they look great. Originally, we did not get any paint on the tank or on this trim down here, or even on the Western Star logo. So when you see that paint on this other one over here, that's because I did that. In fact, my Western Star paint has faded off. You can see a little bit of it still there. So, and the one thing that kind of threw me off was that originally we did get a painted hitch. And this time we did not get a painted hitch, so I'm going to go in there and do that one myself. So you can see there's some more stuff here in the back. This looks a little more filled out with this new one, where the original one looked a little hollow, and this new one's got painted flames on the fenders, where this older one didn't. So, you know, some minor aesthetic changes. We got some more paint here in the back this time around, where before we didn't get any paint. So some minor aesthetic changes, but in truck mode, not a lot changes. We're going to see a lot of these changes here in robot mode. So let's go ahead and get into the transformation. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the weapon. So the sword comes out just like that, just very similar to the first one. Very nice sword. This is a completely remolded sword. We're going to look at it more closely later in comparison with the other one. But this sword is absolutely beautiful. I love the way this looks. And then we also have this axe down here, so that just clips right there. And you just pop that off and set this aside. If you're not familiar with this figure, you're probably wondering, where's the shield? The other one had a shield. This one doesn't seem to have a shield. Well, if you do have the previous one, this is the shield from the other one that we were looking at a minute ago. This still works. You can still plug the shield into the hitch, and that still works. But if you're not familiar with this figure and you're wondering where the shield is, it does have a shield. It's such an awesome reveal. Just wait for it. It's going to be fantastic. So, getting the transformation. Transformation is going to be almost identical to the one that we had before. We do have a few changes. So, we're going to start back here with these wheels, and we're going to turn these downwards like that. And then we're just going to take these panels, same as we did before, and just start popping all these panels open. Unclip this step right here down, and then you can rotate this whole panel outwards like so. You're going to want to do that on both sides. It's still going to be a little panel-y, but it is going to have some serious improvements compared to that other one. All right, so now we're going to take the entire back of the truck and we're going to rotate it up. We've got these 2 pins here. They're going to clip into these 2 holes down there. It can get a little tight sometimes. That one worked well this time around, so that's good. Alrighty, so now we're going to take all of this stuff back here, and this is going to fold really nicely. So we're going to take the step, fold it inward, fold those steps inward, and then we're going to take this panel, fold it all the way outward, and then bring this in like that. Just like that. This entire thing is going to hinge out, come up and over, and then we're going to take these panels one more time and just kind of angle them inwards like that. Make sure everything is lined up properly. There you go. So now those panels angled inward and all this stuff is sort of compressed there. We're going to leave it there for the moment. Well, if we go by the instructions, we can just leave it there for the moment, or we can just do the reveal now, which is probably going to be a better idea since we're trying to do this on camera. Why don't we go ahead and do that? So now you can take this and just pull it out, just like that. Grab this top piece here, flip it, and then we're going to take these little copper panels here, and we're going to push these down like so, and there's your shield. If you were wondering where the shield is, there it is right there. It's a little bigger than it was before. So, you know, a little bit of a size difference. But how cool is it that the whole back of the truck just pops off and it becomes the shield? So there's no issues of storing the shield. You can store all the weapons in the truck mode without having to look at them. And then the whole back comes off and it becomes a shield. I know that some people are going to have an issue with that as far as parts forming. A lot of people are not fans of parts forming, and that's okay if you're not, you know, if you don't like that kind of thing. Personally, I like it. I thought that was super genius that comes off. Plus, it's going to give the robot a much cleaner look. So we'll go ahead and set the shield aside for now. We're going to take this panel down here, flip it down, flip this little piece up until it clicks, and then just flip that down all the way. The rest of the transformation is going to be near identical to what we're used to seeing before. So we're just going to bring these arms out, set those panels downward. These panels are going to be a little different. So now this time around, this thing is going to come down like this, and it's going to clip into place just like that. And then these are going to fold out just like that on that first hinge, and then back again on this hinge. So they're going to L shape like that. So do that on both sides, and just leave those there for now. And now we can take care of the rest of the transformation. So split the legs, bring up the grill, and hopefully by now you're probably familiar with the AOE leader transformation, right? Turn these guys around, bring the feet out, rotate them at the waist. Now you can bring these skirts in, and that's going to look a little cleaner all the way around. Bring the arms down. And finally, let's see, we probably need to back it up a little bit. Split I like to do this part last, so I'm going to split the shoulder pads and bring them backwards. He's still got the big giant shoulder pads, but what are you going to do? And then bring this down, and when you clip it into place, big head reveal. And there is Optimus Prime in robot mode. And right off the bat, you can probably already tell what a big difference this guy has over the original one. Here in robot mode, he is still approximately 9 inches tall. And it's just a matter of the molding and the detail. We'll bring in the original first release that we had for comparison, so you can see. Yeah, he is not 100% movie accurate, and I don't know if it's ever going to be, but I mean, just look at the difference here. It is such a huge improvement. We've got a more accurate head. We've got a completely different molded chest, so it is actually accurate to the movie chest. We have less kibble on the sides because we've eliminated some of these back panels. They're part of the shield now, so the side panels are actually going to be, you know, a little smaller, so a little less kibbly, which is good. The arms are actually different molded. This time around, we actually have articulation on the wrist. So they look, on first glance, they look similar, but these are completely different forearms. The legs are a lot more detailed. You can see some of the silver painting there. You got some more of the detail with the cabling. All the paint and the detail down here on the leg is different, more paint, and then the feet themselves are different molded feet. So, and a completely different head. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning. So, yeah, a lot of the same parts, but a lot of new parts as well. And then the parts that stayed the same got a little bit more paint touch-up. So it makes it a lot more accurate, I think, and a lot cleaner looking because the whole backpack is gone now, which is an option you can do. And if you remember with my original one, I had done, I don't know if I addressed this on video or if I did address this on a web page. I don't remember, but the whole back piece here is held on by one pin, and you can very easily remove that pin, and you can make this removable. So, and it doesn't affect anything. When it goes back into truck mode, you can just pop it right back in and transform it and just leave the pin off, and it doesn't fall off. It actually stays in place. So you can actually have this, make it a removable by removing a pin, which does clean this figure up a lot. For the purposes of the review, I put the pin back in just to have everything the way it was originally. But you can make this removable. It can be done. But yeah, what a difference. Look at the size difference there. You know, and now we've got some options for weapon storage as well, and then this guy had it too. So let's do that. Actually, let's show that off real quick. So we had these two clips that we were looking at here. If we look at this battle axe here, we've got some like kind of like T-moldings there, and there's another one down here at the bottom. So for this one, you're going to choose the one at the top here, and that's just going to clip in right there, just like that. And then for the sword, we'll take a look at these swords together. So that's the original sword there. And this is the new sword here. Let me see if I can... How can I hold these up? I don't know if I can hold them up. Look at this. What a difference, huh? So this new sword is longer, and it's more detailed, and, you know, it's also more movie accurate. It's beautiful. So, you know, with the original figure, we could do that, which is cool. It's still cool. I still like that you can do that. And you know, if you remove this thing, you would lose the ability to do that. So, and then with this one, we've got this piece here. We're just going to rotate this right down there, just like that. So very, very cool. And we'll go ahead and remove this guy for now. We're done with you for the moment. You can also take the shield. The shield has this peg down here, and you can take that peg and pop it in right there if you want him to carry the shield. So it doesn't look like the back of the truck sticking on his back. It actually looks like he's holding a shield there. And you can have Optimus. It does get a little heavy, as you probably just saw. It does get a little heavy, but yes, you can have. It can happen. I've done it several times. I may not do it now because we're on camera, but there you go. You can actually have Optimus sheath all of his weapons on his back, which is so cool. I love it. But let's get these weapons off real quick, and we show off what we can do with them. Let's start with that. Yes, that head is supposed to come off. There is a reason for this. We're going to show that later. But before we arm him up with any weapons, let's show off his articulations. There's one more change that I want to show on this that is super cool. So the head, we'll get in close to the head, show off that sculpt because it is really nice. Yeah, that's good. So check out the head. Very nice. It's a whole new head. Very nicely sculpted. Very nicely detailed. He does have the faceplate, but you can flip it up just like you would with a Masterpiece figure. Rotate it around and bring it back down if you want to have Optimus with no faceplate. Which, you know, I'm not going to do, but you have that option. It's there if you want it. Really cool. I don't know if you can tell by now, but I absolutely love this figure, and I popped his head off. That's the first time I've done that. Okay, let me pop this back in real quick. Before I pop them back together real quick, I just want to show it did not break, just in case you're wondering. Since this is something that's never really happened to me on camera, I want to take the opportunity to show off. You got a little hole right there through the head. You can see all the way through the back there. So that little hole there are two nipples, one on each side. That's not showing. There's one on each side of the head. And it just popped out of there because I just pulled on it too hard. So it's not actually broken. It can be popped off. So let me get this fixed real quick. Okay, we got Optimus's head back on. No problem. It just popped right back in. And we are ready to move on to articulation. So the head is on a ball joint. So you can move this guy all the way around, a little bit of up and down, inside to side. The shoulders, you can go in and out, and you can go all the way around with those. The elbow has a full 90. And again, we have brand new wrist articulation, which is really, really nice. We still have our waist articulation. You do have to look out for the panels a little bit. Our legs can go in and out. They can go forward and backward. You do have a rotation at the knee right there. You have a bend at the knee. You have a little bit of tilt on the ankles, and the feet can go up and down. So a little bit of added articulation, but not much. Still very, very good. Weapons. So with the weapons, really cool. So, added articulation as well is you can actually open the thumb on this guy, where the previous one, could you open the thumb on the previous one? Let me check. I actually don't remember. You could open the thumb on the original one. Okay, I did not remember that. So you can open the thumb, and then there's a little tab right inside of the fist, so you can take the slot on the weapon right here, and just slot it right in there, get it secured, and then close the thumb around it to hold the weapons, which I'm not doing a very good job of. But there you go. So that's the way that's going to work. Same thing with the sword. So we'll pop this guy open, slide his sword right in there, close the thumb around it, and that's how you would do the weapons right there. That looks pretty cool. I like that a lot. So that's how you would do that. And then the shield, same thing. You would, same as before, you've got the support on the outside of his forearm. So you can bring the shield, use the same peg that we used to peg it onto his back, and you would pop it in there. And then at this point, you're going to have to play a little bit of a balancing game with them. And I typically do not put the sword on this hand. I don't know what I was thinking when I was showing that off. But there you go. The sword is actually on his hand, and it is actually balancing. So there you go. That's how that would look. And that actually looks pretty good. Check that out. That looks pretty good. I like that a lot. So there's that. And then one final thing is that you can take the shield and the axe. We're going to take those. We're going to set this aside for the moment. And I am going to bring in the leader class right into the fallen mode. Now, this will work with any version of this mold so far that I've been able to tell with. It said in the instructions specifically that it would work with it's the MB11 version. So that's like the sort of kind of, it's a new version. It's an anniversary version. It's kind of like a combination of the Buster Prime and the third movie Prime, sort of. That's the one specifically that this is supposed to work with. But as far as I can tell, I've got 3 different versions of this leader mode, and all 3 of them work. So what you can do here is you can take the axe and you can flip it around just like this. And then you can take the handle here and slide it right down Optimus's hand. So he can hold it like that. Or you can flip it and bring the axe handle down the bottom of his fist. Bring it all the way up and over, and then bring his axe head in, so he can hold it like that. So either one of those ways is going to work. And then on the shield, you've got this clip back here that you can fold out. And that clip is going to clip on the pin right there for his armor. So you can clip that right there, just like that. And now you've got yourself a leader Optimus Prime with a shield. There you go. So a little bit playability there where you can take his weapons and actually share them with other figures, which is pretty cool. And I did not think, I thought I was going to look that look, I thought that I was going to look like, I cannot talk this morning. I thought that I was going to like that look for the axe better, but as it turns out, I actually ended up liking the first one better. So we'll do that. Call me crazy, but I ended up liking that better. But I'm not doing it right. What's going on here? Suddenly I can't get this in there. There you go. I like that better somehow. It's weird. So there you go. You can do that. And here we have one final look at the Caliber Optimus Prime. I absolutely love this figure. This figure right here was one that I really did not think I was going to purchase another copy of. I had the first release, the first Age of Extinction release that we got here in the States. I thought it's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. It's fine. I don't need another version of this mold. When I saw this one, I absolutely had to have it. In my opinion, this is the absolute best version that there is of this mold. This shield's not right. I gotta fix my shield. There we go. In my opinion, this is the absolute ultimate version of this mold so far. I absolutely adore it. I think it's fantastic. If you're a fan of the leader mold for the new Age of Extinction in Last Night Optimus Prime, this is absolutely the version to have. And I think with that, we're pretty much done with Transformers TLK-15 Caliber Optimus Prime. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.